So today we're going to go back and look at hive number one and see what happened to that brood that we put in there. We had a couple of cold days afterwards, unfortunately, um, but if I can go back there and I can see brood or eggs, I'll be very happy because that'll be an indicator that our queen switched on. Now, there's one caveat there, and that is that you have to wait to see when the brood gets capped, whether it's all turning into drone brood, because the queen could be infertile. But if I see eggs in there, I'll be very happy today, and I'll feel that this hive is more or less out of the woods. Could have a drone bombshell, but I'll be happy to see eggs. So let's go back and take a look. Well now, we have bees. That's a good sign. Lots of bees. Question I have is, do we have brood outside of what we already put in here last week?
So a little quick history. This was an incredibly weak hive, and we put in a frame of brood, capped brood, last week. Actually a little bit more than a week ago, but we had some cold, and we want to see if that hatched out. It looks like they built up their workforce a bit, so that's a good indicator that at least some of them made it fine.
Still some honey in here. That's a good thing.
I have to apologize for the wind noise, but it's that time of year where there's strong breezes blowing. It's kind of hard to get audio on that.
Honey, pollen. And this, I believe, is the frame we put in last week. And the answer is, a lot of it is hatched out. I think this end got chilled. But when I look in these cells, I'm seeing eggs. I don't know if this will show up on camera, but we have a queen that has started laying. So our small colony is back in business. There's our queen, right in the middle there. But there's a lot of cells that I see eggs in. Okay. And they are starting to eat the pollen patty. That's sugar from above that fell down next to it. And we have some dead in the bottom, as one might expect. But we have a nucleus area with a laying queen. So I'm happy. We're going to keep the size of this colony small. But as long as they have food, laying queen, yeah, I think they made it.
So we'll look back in on them in about a week or so and see what the cappings look like. Hopefully they're not little round protruding drone brood cappings. Nice flat worker cappings, and we'll know that this guy is back in business.
This colony here is really going wild today. So we're going to take a peek inside and see what's going on. Interesting, a little bit of white in the comb. Little bridge comb, that's new. And brood. So we can't exactly pull this as a super. This is
super below it is empty. More brood. And there we go. Empty queen cell. These girls are thinking about something. Brood. Brood. Another queen cup. No, 2 queen cups. I think we need to go a little deeper in this colony. I think we need to look at the bottoms. Queen cups by themselves are not a real big alarm bell, although it kind of does indicate what they might be thinking. It's when you look in there and you see an egg with a little jelly around it, you know that, oh boy, they have switched into swarm mode. Definitely queen cups. Okay, not seeing anything down there. This is often the case. The bottom super is more or less empty. We don't have any brood down here. So we're actually going to move this super to the top. Brood. And there's our queen. Beautiful queen, right there. There she is. All right. So our queen is in this super. So we're going to pop this guy off. He's kind of more or less empty. I'm going to move this guy down. And move these strings over, complete with queen. Let's see what else we got here. Brood frame. Brood frame. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And empty frame. What we've done is we've moved all our brood frames down into here. And now put the deep up here. I'm gonna go grab an excluder. I always try to get the hives back into a 1 medium and 1 deep configuration. And by throwing an excluder on, we're trying to confine the area of the hive that's brood.
This isn't really a move that you'd normally do, but since we know we have all the brood in the bottom, we want them to fill out the deep super. But I don't feel like chasing all the bees out of this, but I don't want brood up here again, so we throw a queen excluder in there so that hopefully she moves up into this super, which is the deep, which will finally end up at the bottom. And eventually this will become a honey super. There's no brood in it right now, and if I missed a cell or two, then they'll hatch out and move downstairs. But this way she has tons of room to lay. That's how I can build. And we'll see if that swarming instinct is still going or not. But this is a very nice, strong colony. And they are about to explode in population. So hive number 3 was a bit of a surprise. They were buzzing. Now, the thing is, bees move up in the hive over the course of the winter. And when all the activity is occurring at the top of the hive, what can happen is the queen can feel crowded. And if that happens, they'll develop the urge to swarm. It's one of the stimuli to get them to swarm. So in the spring, what you want to do is, especially if you have empty supers at the bottom that are not being used or just have some honey stores, you reverse them and she'll work her way up, and that way she has tons of room to lay eggs, and hopefully they don't have that swarming or that particular reason to swarm. There is, again, a risk. There is always a risk. This is April 1st today, April Fool's Day, and what can happen there is you can have a sudden severe cold snap, and now all your brood is at the bottom and heat rises. So there is a danger to doing that too early, and we normally would not do that this early. But this spring's unusual. Things are happening really fast. So stay tuned. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll find out in a couple of weeks how things are going, and if they're turning those little queen cups into official queen cells and charging them with a potential swarm queen. Stay tuned.